Hey guys, it's West here. Welcome back to episode 3 of the Summoner's War 2018 Beginner Progression Series. I tried to make a video earlier in the week, but there's been some mic issues, so I haven't been able to. However, because of that, we've made plenty of progress. It has been about 2 weeks and some change since the last episode. And in the last episode, I talked about quite a few monsters, the transition from clearing the scenario mode to going into Giants B6, and now I'm going to be talking about the transition from Giants B6 to Giants B7. Now this transition shouldn't take but 3, maybe 4 days, depending on how much you're grinding and how much time you're really sinking into the game. It didn't take me long, and I haven't been playing non-stop really. I just kind of clear my energy and go on with my other accounts. So this is the team I'm currently using. We've built up some other monsters that we haven't talked about yet. We might have briefly mentioned the Light Vagabond before. He's a unit that we're going to be using all over the place in Raid, potentially in Dragons, as well as certain stages of TOA as well. Darian's going to be a great damage mitigator, and he brings a backup defense break and attack break to really add some more damage and survivability to our team. Biggest thing though is this passive mitigates 20% of all damage they receive. This includes dots, this includes, or continuous damage effects, this includes reflected damage from the dark units in Giants B7. So he's one of the units we built for this, not only for this, but especially because we're going to be using him in other places. Recently, the Water Howl Lulu got a rework that made Lulu even better than before. Now this ability grants immunity if there are no harmful effects, and it prioritizes this skill regardless of the HP status or or damage status or harmful effect status of your unit. So regardless, Lulu will always use this third skill if it's up, meaning that your team has potentially got immunity all the time, which is nice if you make your Lulu fast enough, which I have. And then we have a heal on the first skill and a heal and a secondary cleanse on the second skill. So you have some backup heals with Lulu in your team, as well as a cleanse and immunity to stop those continuous damage effects from taking down your team really quickly. So that's what we've got here. Those are the 2 units we've built in. I recently 6-starred my Lapis, my Water Magic Knight, because she's going to be our farmer, and for the most part she's going to be our biggest damage dealer. Now I'm going to run this in the background and talk about runes afterward, but first, I want to ask you guys a question. Would you guys like to see, fusible monsters included in this guide, or would you like me to restrict it to only farmable, 3 and 2 stars, including the Water Magic Knight? I'm kind of curious about what you guys think of that, because there's 2 major steps you can take after hitting Giants B7, because Giants B7 is probably where you're going to spend your most time before you hit Giants B10, depending on what next step you take. So using this very team right here, I'm very capable of doing Giants B10. All I would do is probably 6-star Bella Dian and perhaps 6-star Lulu as well, because Lulu has lower base stats and has element neutrality in Giants B10, meaning that Lulu's going to take more damage. So I might 6-star Bella Dian and Lulu if I were to want to just take this team right into Giants B10. But another option is to fuse Veramos, the Dark Ifrit. Now, fusing this monster is completely obtainable for anybody. You can receive the monsters through scenario drops and through different challenges, as well as secret dungeons on each respective element day, for the monster you're trying to farm. And then all you have to do is awaken the monsters, get the fusion circle, and fuse them. It's a pretty tedious process, but you could go pretty much straight from Giants B7 to Giants B10, and you just take out Lulu and you'd put Veramos in that slot. You could definitely do that. So I want to know what you guys think, whether or not I should use fusions, because that will drastically change the way this account progresses and how quickly it progresses. Because using fusions, you can get away with a pretty ridiculous amount of different speed teams using only fusible, only farmable Nat 3, Nat 2s, as well as the fusible monsters. So I can get down to 1 minute 30-second speed teams in Giants, and 2 minute reliable and 145-second reliable Dragons B10 teams. So, but that all depends on whether or not we choose to go the fusible route or just the strictly Nat 3, Nat 2, and Lapis route. So please let me know about that in the comment section. This run's wrapping up. You guys can see it's pretty clear cut. It's pretty straightforward. Lulu's there for the cleanse, Bella's there for the heal, Darian for the damage mitigation and backup debuffs, and of course Magic Knight's in there for the nuke. So it's pretty much a protect Magic Knight sort of composition. So that could roll 2 times in a crit rate. That's why I kept that. We're going to talk about some runes here. We have, pretty much the fatal runes they give us right off the bat, with a few runes switched around because we did want to put some blade runes on. We did manage to get attack, crit damage attack. a small aside about putting a crit damage slot 4 on any damage dealer. You want to hit at least 70% crit rate to get the minimum amount of reliability out of your unit before you go for the crit damage. Now ideally you'll have 85% or more. And with Lapis, a big thing you want to worry about is having as much speed as possible, because if you're going to want to farm Fame in Hard or Fame in Hell, you're going to want your Lapis around 135 to 140 speed. 145 or higher if you want to reliably outspeed everything in Fame in Hell. And I have a Lapis on my brother's account that's has less attack than this one and the same amount of crit rate and crit damage, and just has 40 plus 40 speed, and it farms really reliably in Fame and Hell at 6 stars, so, or at 5 star. So just giving this more speed, a speed in slot 2 would make a huge difference here. But I am still looking for a speed slot 2 with some crit rate and crit damage. But that's what I've done with my Lapis, all obtained through GB6 and GB7. The transition from GB6 to GB7 is just a little bit of HP. You kind of just want to hit, 10 to 12,000 HP on all of your units. Try to aim for 160 to 170 speed on all your supports. And of course, trying to hit the accuracy caps on any monster you want to land debuffs. You can see 45% accuracy on my Belladine and then 49% accuracy on my Darien. So they have the highest possible chance of landing those debuffs. I have just barely managed to avoid putting a slot 6 accuracy on my Belladine. However, before I had an accuracy in slot 6, and I was running speed in slot 2, HP in slot 4, and accuracy in slot 6, just so I could hit those stats. So don't feel guilty if you do that. Don't feel worried about doing that, because if you need the accuracy, definitely put the accuracy on slot 6. Just make sure it doesn't cause your unit to die. You still want to hit 10,000 to 12,000 HP for GB6 and GB7, and then you still want to hit as high of speed as possible. Now I'm looking for Rune to sub this out, either a speed, a swift, or an energy, or whatever, slot 2 right now in speed, but I have yet to pull or get any speed runes dropped that are good enough. Now it doesn't matter what I put here, since I am using a fatal rune here. You can see that I got a fatal 6-star HP percentage rune. Now I want to talk about broken sets. So the big set that matters for most of your supports is going to be Swift, because this 25% speed bonus is essentially 25 speed, maybe a little bit more for most units. Some units a little bit less depending on them. Magic Knight would get less than 25 speed. Shannon, Belladine, they'd get more than 25 speed. Darren would get a little less, but that aside, that Swift bonus is really huge, so missing out on that is, a really big bummer. And if you are missing out on the Swift speed bonus, there's no point in putting your monster on Swift anyways, when you could just do multiple sets of energy or something of that nature. But these secondary sets, which are called offsets, which are the sets of 2 runes that you pair with your set, your 4 set, which would be your Swift, your Fatal, your Despair, that your energy, your Blade, all these different runes that are 2 sets are offsets. Those runes don't give you as big of a bonus, and if you can get bigger bonuses by having runes with good substats and high grade or high star rating, then it's much better to use those. Now the extra HP I get from this being 6-star rather than the 4-star it was before is pretty significant. We have a 4-star rune here, 24%, and that's 47%, so you can see a 23% difference, and that one's plus 12, this one is plus 9. It's kind of a stretch to even bring a 4-star rune to plus 9. I only did it because it had speed and I really needed the extra HP just to get me through. But you can see, so I lose 15% by not having this energy bonus. However, I'm gaining 23%, so it's still a net gain of 8% additional HP, which doesn't sound like a lot when you add it all up, but it's like it really adds up to a pretty big difference in the end. Every little bit of HP counts, as well as this gave me a lot of defense in the substat and the accuracy, so you got to take that into account as well, and that's what it's allowed me to put an HP percent in slot 6. So if you think about it, I've netted a lot of HP as a result of having this offset being broken and having this fatal rune here. So I just want to say things like that, because if you're getting really good runes and they're just not in the right set, don't sell them because they're not exactly what you're looking for. Keep them and just check out and see if they could fit in any of your rune sets. Darien is another good example. I found a 5-star defense percentage rune that had HP as a substat, and I was like, that's perfect for Darien, and it's 5-star. And at this point, 5-star is a massive upgrade from any 3 or 4-star runes that I had on him, so I chucked it on him and it was fine. So don't stress too much about having the right set. Do try to hit the Swift sets for your core supports, But when it comes to their offset, don't worry about slotting in whatever you need to in order to hit the right stat requirements for that unit. So that's what I've built. I had a double XP booster running. I saw a question in a previous video asking about how I 5-starred so many monsters quickly. Honestly, the game gives you 2 double XP boosters right in the beginning really quickly. I would highly recommend you save those until your Magic Knight, your Water Magic Knight, is 5-starred and maybe even Awakened, but at least 5-starred and at least on a 4-star or better Fatal set, till you can start farming those stages, whether it's Tamor Hard, Tamor Hell, or Famine Hard. Or even if you have a double XP booster and you can't hit those stages, then farming Mount Sizz on Hell, the second stage of Mount Sizz on Hell, is really nice. Magic Knight can clear this relatively quickly, and this will also help you get your speed slot too for your Magic Knight, so you have an easier time farming Fame and Hard in the future, because the difference between Fame and Hard and Mount Sizz Hell is pretty significant. The energy return and the monster drops are better in Fame and Hard, so it's more efficient to use to farm Fame and Hard when you want to later, but if you can't do that, then starting out in Mount Sizz Hell is really easy for most Magic Knights to do, and it's going to get you the XP you need. Also, don't forget about reps. For those of you who haven't done that yet, I highly recommend you go to the friend section, you go to mentor and mentees, and you find yourself some mentors. I'd recommend water ones, or if you see a Wind Panda can farm the Aiden Forest Hell, the first stage, very easily. So you look for units like that. Nat 5 water monsters for Feynman and Nat 5 wind monsters for Aiden. Most of the time they're going to be well runed. If you see they're not well runed, you could remove them. You could remove, I believe, 1 a day. If you think that they're not high enough quality, you click this little gear and click the little minus icon next to their name, and you can remove them and add a better rep. So that's what has happened so far. What else do we have to go over? Oh, the amount of resources you get in the beginning of the game. You see I have a lot of crystals, and I do farm, a decent amount, not a lot, not multiple refreshes a day, but I farm enough to use some crystals. And I still have plenty. These challenges right here give you plenty of different rewards, whether they be mana or Rainbow Mon to help you 5-star and 6-star monsters, whether they be essences to help you awaken things, or whether they be scrolls. You get plenty of rewards in the game. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the amount of scrolls I have. I have 3 light and dark, 2 of each attribute scroll, and 41 mystical scrolls, completely free to play. These are all just rewards that I've saved up. I haven't summoned a single one. I'm waiting to summon. I also have 457 exclusive summoning stones. I did get a little itch for summoning, I'm not going to lie, and I did 1 crystal summon, and in that 1 crystal summon, I did summon a Harmonia, the Fire Heart Magician, which was crazy that the one and only summon I did was really lucky. But seeing all those scrolls made me want to summon, so I did do 1 crystal summon. I didn't summon any of the scrolls. So, and I did get a Harmonia, who is, funny enough, is a fusible monster. So, in the meantime, I've also been leveling these fusion monsters, just in case the answer is yes, that you guys are fine with me fusing Veramos. Worst case scenario, they're the same as these 4-star max level Rainbow Mons, so they're more food for 6 stars, so I'm not really worried about bringing them up to 4-star max level, even if you guys decide you don't want me to do any fusibles in the series. I have collected 6 Devilmon by this point. It has been about 3 to 4 weeks, about 4 weeks worth of progression, so between 1 Devilmon a week through the arena shop, which is something you can definitely do, even if you just go ahead and you put only 1 monster on defense, so that you can be defeated as easily as possible, so that you can lose points and lose rank, not points, so you could lose rank in arena, so that you could go against easier opponents. Then you could go ahead and here against low levels 8 or 9, and other players who are also doing the same thing. You'll find similar things at lower levels, and you could just go ahead and you can get a few free wins. Also, these rivals that you can fight against give you 3 crystals per defeat, as well as getting the 3 glory points, so it's not too hard. It's 60 arena battles at the level that I'm at right now, which is Challenger 1, which is what everyone should be able to stay at hypothetically. So 60 battles, it sounds like a lot. It's not really a lot. If you're doing, like, I don't know, 10 to 20 a day, it's 3 days for a Devilmon, so and you could take all those extra points and you could start leveling up your glory buildings as well, because those glory buildings will give you huge bonuses, which will add up later. So that's what we've been up to right now. That's what we've been working on, and those are the things I'd recommend if you really want to progress quickly. At this point, if you're farming GB6 and you're going to GB7, or if you farm GB7 for a while, you have two major steps you can take. One is a little bit more tedious. One is different and interesting, but can also be pretty tedious depending on, your patience for the game. So you can either stay in Giants B7 until you have enough 5 and 6-star runes and enough food to 6-star Beladion and Lulu, and you can go right into, or you could do Konamaya instead of Lulu if you so choose, and you could hop right into Giants B10 with this exact same team. Your other choice is you can go ahead and you can fuse Veramos. If you summoned other nukers along the way, you don't have to 6-star your Lapis. If you've pulled a monster like Tashar, the Wind Phoenix, if you've pulled a monster like, there's plenty of different monsters who would work. Lagmaron, Teor, the Wind and Water Chimeras. I mean, there's plenty of different monsters that you could slot into your Giants B10 team. Area of effect nukers are really important if you want to just slot something in instead. Now, if some reason you've managed to farm that much of Guild Wars and you have an Amir, and Amir is an amazing monster to put in your guild, into your Giants B10 team, so you could slot him in there as well. He provides continuous damage effects, stuns, two forms of area of effect damage, and he's wind, so he's elementally advantaged over the Giants boss and the wave leading up to it. So various other Chow, any of the, the Water Dragon Knight, Teor, the Water Chimera. There's so many different monsters, nukers in particular with AoE abilities or some mechanic that allows them to survive. You could slot them in and 6-star them instead of your Lapis. But that's just what I'm using for this free-to-play series. Now, like I said, you could fuse Veramos or you could farm Giants B7, and that's going to be progression, pretty much. In Giants B7, you want to be looking for 5-star and 6-star blue runes that have 2 relevant substats, ideally, when you're hopping into Giants B10. You can do it with just 5-star runes, but the runes do need to have okay substats at least. Right now I'm looking for substats of speed because I do want to hit like 190 or more speed for all my units. I'm aiming for 200 on units like Beladion. I want to get plus 60 or plus 70 speed for Magic Knight just so she can be as fast as possible for Arena, fast as possible to clear those Giants B10 waves. So that's what I'm going to be up to. Like I said, if you guys have any input on what you guys think I should do, whether you would like me to go ahead and do the fusion route and show that, or whether you would like me to show the complete bare bones route and not do any fusions for this series, then I will try that out as well. I will go with whatever there are more comments for, more unique comments for in the comment section. So it'll probably be about a week before the next video, so there'll be some time for some comments to come in. Other than that, that's about it. Don't worry if you built the Wind Harpoon and you're wondering why. We're going to be using her in Trial of Ascension. You could also try to slot her into your team as well if you wanted to. She can be built a multitude of different ways, but she's going to be really good for our Trial of Ascension attack bar reducing composition that I want to be building. So that's it for this episode. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything progression or Summoners War related, or if you just want to say hi, go ahead and let me know in the comments. I'll say hi back, most likely. But that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Hey guys, it's West again. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more.